What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shacknews Twitch channel. Today is Monday, April the 18th, 2022. We're here with episode 128 of the Wide World of Electronic Sports. We're here with our host, Bryan Lefler, Rodney Conyers, Phil Visu. Fellas, tell me what's been going on in this super long weekend. Did something
Yo,
big happen you guys might have been a part of?
right. There was this thing that happened in San Jose, California called Genesis. You might have heard about it. And we're going to get all into it. But before we do that, man, I want to check the temperature of my co-host here this weekend, man. What's going on, Brian? How you feeling? The skankiest of all the cores.
Yo, Rod, thank you so much. Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you for hosting, like kind of running the show today. Going to be a little bit different with you taking the wheel, and I can't wait to get into everything with you. It's going to be exciting.
Definitely. I'm ready to nerd out. And my partner in crime, my partner in grime. How are you feeling, bro?
Bro, I've just been sucking down like cough drops and trying to maintain my voice because it has definitely got beat to hell over this weekend. Well worth it, obviously. It's a great event, which we're going to get into, but damn, I'm feeling it right now.
No, that's facts. I'm definitely with you as well, man. I think I sound like some combination of Fran Drescher and Steve Urkel. I'm trying to talk light. So
Not
we'll
Fran.
see how it goes. You already know, man. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Genesis was this weekend. There's so many different avenues and aspects of Genesis to talk about. But I think the biggest one, and yes, I think this news is bigger than whatever the hell happened in Melee, however great the food was, all of that. We got to talk about our boy Spargo getting sponsored. All right, Phil, I know you've been wanting to kind of dive on this one for a while. So can we talk about it, brother? Can we
We
talk about it?
we can talk about it because let me keep it a buck with you, bro. I had
All right.
heard for like even like when we were at Summit, I had heard for like a little while that it was like a big team was already talking to him. Right now, obviously there were some speculations just based off like interactions we've seen on like Twitter,
Mhm.
between him and Ms. Kiff. There was that rumor that he turned down Moist Esports, so you knew it had to be a big team. I heard like for a little while it was like some team over in Europe, but then like maybe like 3 weeks ago, an unnamed source, I will not reveal my sources, they told me that yo, I think Spargo is going to FaZe Clan. And I was like, oh, how do you know that? And he was like, well, I'm trying to help facilitate it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So like
Okay.
that, and like this is somebody who I personally, trust to deliver quality information. But the thing about it is like why I was like I didn't say anything because it's like one of those things you don't want to leak anything and potentially hurt his, opportunity or his, chance to actually secure this. So
Mm.
obviously I thought that kind of like fizzled out because, it didn't get announced prior to Genesis. Little did I know, they realized Spargo's such a badass, and there was no chance he wasn't going to top eight the tournament. They were just saving it for Sunday, and his announcement did not disappoint. It's nice to see Spargo throwing up the phase. He got cleaned it up a little bit. We're gonna work with him on that. We're gonna work with him on that. Throwing up the phase F, trying to get that right. That video was hard. Jersey looked good on him, and that reveal with the hoodie coming off was just sick. And then he goes on to beat Zamba in a game five set, which I thought was actually better that it wasn't a wash. It was like a good gritty game five because it shows why you believe in this kid, right? He was down, 2 games, fight through that adversity, under pressure, get the job done. Boy's a beast, and I'm very proud of him, man. Solid third place finish in Genesis.
You already know, Brian. How you feeling about it, man? I know you had a chance to watch it. FaZe Clan Spargo.
Oh yeah, it's a huge deal for Spargo to be drafted into the FaZe Clan like this. I knew when EE talked about previously that he had an idea like where he was going to go and had some insider information. I knew you knew, right? EE, like I knew you weren't just saying that just to say it. Like yeah, you wouldn't just be pulling that out of your ass. Like this is really big, not only for FaZe Clan but for Spargo. FaZe Clan, I think, needed a Smash pickup, right? Like
Mhm.
it's really great for them to get into the platform fighting scene. Maybe they'll sponsor even more players. Like this could open up a roster of Smash players for FaZe Clan. Who do you think could follow Spargo into their stable? This could be the start of a whole
Well,
team. What
well,
do you think?
here's the fun thing about that, right? And I
Let's
actually
hear it.
think this is why Spargo's pickup is actually so incredible. he doesn't fit the mold for somebody for FaZe Clan, not even a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, the only thing that you would really kind of line up with FaZe Clan is winning, right? He's a winner, but
Sure.
like just like his general tendencies, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not kind of like that frat boy vibe. He's just a young kid. He's good at the game. He's a big fan. So I think with like them being willing to take on Spargo, and obviously they're going to get a good return on their investment. That kid's a beast. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think maybe it's like, okay, well, would we be willing to kind of dip our toes in another direction too with another player? Because we got a lot of these, good Smash players who are free agents right now, right? So maybe you
Hmm.
want to kind of take advantage of that and just see maybe you can get like another one on there. Because it's not uncommon for some orgs to have multiple players. Look at TSM, look at Liquid, right? They have multiple Smash players. They're upper echelon
Yeah.
teams, so it's not something that couldn't happen. So that's kind of where my mind is. Like it just opened the door of possibilities, which I think is solid all around. I appreciate
Let's
that.
get Larry Lur in FaZe Clan.
Hey, look, can we talk
Ah,
about it? I'd love to see. I mean, you know what? So, sir, it's funny you bring that up because when Larry was on, we talked about the importance of also creating content, which is something I know that we all kind of agree on. But there's some players who are just so goddamn good that they're just like, you know what? We'll work on the content thing with you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep winning for the time being in our jersey. And I think Spargo's right there right now. But I also think, too, just looking at it from a competitive standpoint, he's still young enough where that brain is still like absorbent. It can take in new information. There's a lot of habits that can probably be broken. Not like if you got somebody maybe 25, 26-year-old, you know what I'm saying, who's already kind of stuck in their ways, and you gotta fight him to stream, you gotta fight him to make YouTube stuff. Like with him being so young, I think he's going to be a little bit more willing to get out and really hit the ground running with content. And I also think too, just from the scope of business, like I think the primest example of something like this would be like when Nintendo was trying to do the circuit the first time, and Red Bull got in on it. Then Red Bull backed off. So then all the other companies heard about it. They're like, "Oh, well, Red Bull almost wanted this thing, so it must be a big deal. Maybe we should take a look at it." And I think we might see something similar to that with what we're seeing here right now with FaZe Clan. Because I'm gonna be real, there's a lot of great teams that sponsor strong players in Smash, but FaZe Clan, for me, in my opinion, is like upper echelon, one of the most important ones, if not the most important. And that's no disrespect to any of the other ones. So hopefully just the sheer nature of them picking up Spargo will bring more eyes in because, talking with some of the homies over at other teams like, TSM, Beast Coast, some of the other teams are like, hey, we love all esports, but let's just be honest, our money has to be allocated towards these said games. We don't have a lot of money for Smash, but Spargo, third at Genesis, I think that says a lot. And he's the only player that can really, kind of ruffle MKLeo's feathers.
Rodney, I got a question for you here on the topic. Uh,
Hmm.
you guys mentioned earlier that this is the first step of its type for FaZe Clan, going with a Smash player. And you mentioned how this could open the door to others. Say if you're on the purely the viewer side of things, just as a supporter, and you
Sure.
want this trend to continue, is the best option to go about buying Spargo licensed gear from FaZe? Is that like the quick way to show that you're looking, for the team to maybe move farther in that direction, or what's the direct way? Like if you were on the fan side, to push farther on something like this.
That's actually a good question. I think it really comes down to Spargo as well and what they're asking of him. Because again, like, and not to compare him to this person who's no longer here, but Zero wasn't really a content creator. He was just a guy who beat a lot of ass and it looked good on YouTube and Twitch. And then they kind of forced him out of his shell. And so I think, if they can kind of get Spargo to do that, I think the jerseys and stuff will really start to sell themselves after a while. I mean, Spargo does shake a lot of hands. He kisses a lot of babies, signs a lot of autographs. I caught him doing it at the after party last night. But I think now with him being
People
on,
brought babies to the after party.
you'd be surprised how these smashers get down. Okay,
Nice.
now all jokes aside, I do think that 100%. Just buying merch of his, whether it's a wristband or jerseys. Number 25, by the way, very popular number in gaming and traditional sports. I think that's the ultimate way to support. I don't know. What about you guys though?
I think that's probably the way to go if FaZe Clan does have jerseys. I don't even know if they have jerseys available for their more popular players and things like that. I'm not even up to date on the whole merch scene and all of that.
Mhm.
But if they do, yeah, that would absolutely be a way to go. I think another thing to do would be, of course, make sure you're following Spargo on his social media channels. Make sure you're showing that presence. Make sure you're liking his content and stuff like that. So that way, FaZe Clan sees his numbers go up in his social media and content presence.
Yeah.
I
What about you?
100% think that the best way to help Spargo out, like obviously he's on phase. They're gonna tweet about him. Engage with those tweets positively, right?
Yeah.
Like give him some likes, retweets, or comments. Like let him know like the community is behind him. I mean, obviously that announcement did numbers. Very, very good start, but like keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Like those interactions on socials are a big thing. If they do bring out some merch for him, hey man, if you're a big enough fan, if you got the coin, why not, man? I mean, I personally I would buy a Spargo jersey just because I've been a huge fan of that kid for the longest time. It's still pissed off that Beast Coast didn't listen to me back a couple summits ago. I was like, yo, pick this kid up before summit. He's gonna be something special. And now he's repping FaZe. He's one of the best in the world. Undisputably at least number 2, I would say. With trying to make some strides to take that first spot from Leo. Still got some work to do, but I mean you see the potential, man. The kid's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he might be like the youngest of all the players I've ever seen in Smash get a sponsorship that big. I mean, FaZe Clan is ridiculous. And on the topic of new teams, that's big shout out to you, EE. You know what I'm saying? Your time with Beast Coast has come to an end. You did great work with them, but NRG now, can we talk about it?
Yeah, man. I'm super hyped because it's not just like a role of me just being like a content guy for them, right? Obviously, it's actually more of like a content director type role. I'm wanting like help be a content director for them. I got a lot of good ideas, hoping to implement. We're actually doing a LAN tournament for Fortnite tomorrow, which I'll probably not have much of a voice for, but I'll still be in attendance, having a good time. I think it's a new opportunity for me. Means a lot to me personally because one, I can kind of get closer to other esports that I do like enjoying casually. Like obviously you got San Francisco Shock, it's NRG affiliated. You got obviously Apex, Fortnite on the roster as well. Like just a lot of dope things. And who knows, man? Maybe I can even finagle a Smash player out there. You never know. Like I said, I ain't gonna promise nothing, but I'm working on a few things. So just
Hey,
stay tuned for that. Appreciate all the love about it.
Congrats.
hey,
Thank you,
congrats,
man.
my brother. Yeah, I'm just
Thank you,
saying,
my
if you need a
friend.
player, I know a dude. He's 28. Kind of handsome. You might know him. He MC Genesis. I'm just saying, his link is all right. That's all I'm
Brian, you're
saying.
28.
Well, I'm turning,
Nice.
almost there.
There you go. There you go.
All right, man. On the topic of players on the rise, I mean, Spargo's not the only one. Of course, Genesis is a platform fighting, just celebration. It's not even just Smash anymore. They did Rivals, but we got to talk about the legendary one known as Super Smash Brothers Melee, Brian's favorite esport. Let's talk about J Mook, man. I didn't even know this player existed, which always makes for the best storylines. But J Mook getting second at Genesis Melee over God, who did he beat? IBDW, Plups, and None. Ridiculous, y'all. Can we talk about it?
I thought J Mook came out of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
and just absolutely shit on people. And the crazy thing about that to me was, like Mango had lost to the dude from Colorado, Fizzy or something. I can't quite remember his name, but he's a good sheik from Colorado. I think number 1 over there. So I'm like, oh man, maybe this is gonna be the guy who makes a run for the tournament. Nah, it was not. It was J Mook just coming through and just giving hands. And the way he plays, like his Sheik is just so fluid and smooth. It kind of reminds me like when Plup was on the come up. Like his Sheik was pretty unique
Yeah.
in the way it approached a lot of matchups and his punish game and stuff like that. I think he actually beat Plup. So there you go right there. Show you how talented that guy was. Man, he was a treat to watch. I feel like it was like a breath of fresh air in
Sure.
that melee top 8. To be honest with you, I know like somebody had posted a stat that it's been like since 2007 since somebody of that kind of like god tier status, like the Mangos, Armadas, people like that, had not been in like a grand finals for a tournament like this, like Genesis or of this elite caliber. I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. So I thought it was great for the game. I still think Ultimate should have closed, which is my opinion. But I think Melee didn't disappoint, which is really all you can hope for, right? Like had some surprising return faces in the top 8, had some new faces, and then some of the old guard as well. It was just dope all around.
Yeah, for the sake of Fogo de Chao, I'm glad that we didn't close. All right, that was a
True.
really great dinner. Yeah,
True.
absolutely. What about you, Brian? I know you had a chance to maybe peek at it. I know you're a busy guy, but what are your thoughts on J Mook and just Melee overall this weekend?
Well, first of all, I have to give a shout out to Genesis 8 for just putting on another top tier melee tournament, right? I
Mhm.
mean, yes, melee is my favorite esport of all time. I think it's the best Smash, and I always will. So it was
Mhm.
great to see, just another amazing tournament take place. The CRTs that they used, those were crisp. Those were like PVM 14 N5Us or whatever. Like those were real professional broadcast monitors. They weren't even bringing in the princess, the Disney princess set or whatever for this tournament. They were bringing in the real shit. So yeah, it was really nice to see all of that. But yeah, J-Mook was just on a tear this weekend, right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, beating a lot of top tier talent and putting up a great game against Zane, of all players, to go to grand finals and, you know, to meet against Zane. Like, it's going to be a tough challenge. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to take that. Zane was able to get the grand finals. Congratulations to Zane for winning out Genesis as well. Yeah, but yeah, this is a big story for J-Mook, and I think we're going to hear a lot more from this guy for sure.
I
Yeah.
hope
So
so.
yeah, I also hope so as well. So yeah, he's a sword player, right? Plays with Marth. Just yeah, just dominating this weekend. Yeah, I just want to see more for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just really proficient on all fronts. And, you know, on the topic of Zane, again, big shout out to him for winning because this is his second Genesis. It ain't easy to compete at this level because this is our
Yeah.
Super Bowl, our NBA Finals. You know, I talked about it when I opened up top 8 for Ultimate. And, you know, the thing about that, I think Zane was the only one who beat him. I think he double eliminated him, which you know, obviously the goal is to win the whole thing. But when I look at, I believe Zane is the best player in the game right now.
He is.
Yeah, best player in the game. Hey, you know
Yes.
what? That's okay. That's a respectable loss. And now I know where I sit. I know where the ceiling is. And now the only place to go through or go up past is through that ceiling so I can try to get that run back. And I know we got Pound next weekend. I don't know if we're actually doing I know we are doing Melee there. I think I seen H-Box tweet about it. So they're going to
Melee is going to be a Pound. Yeah, they're going monitor only for their Melee, which is kind of
Really?
like divided a few people attending. Like, yo, this is cool. You know, way to go into the future. And the other half are like, it's bullshit. I want to use my CRT. I'll bring it myself.
You know, I don't blame him. You know, what's funny, I think at one of the Gommels, I seen, God, I want to say it was like Chia or somebody else kind of selling like an adapter that's supposed to make the monitors play virtually lagless, you know,
Oh
with
yeah,
Melee and whatnot.
I
I'm
have
like,
one. I have one of those.
does it work?
Yeah, I have a RetroTink 5X Pro. It's probably the best scaler on the market right now that you can get, and it is made for, you know, hooking up older consoles to newer displays. And yeah, they're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. I see no reason why you couldn't run a tournament using a bunch of scalers like this. It wouldn't even have to be a RetroTink. You could use, you know, like the FrameMeister or the OSSC, the RetroTink 2X, the cheaper version of the one I have. Like all of those, for example, would be good alternatives to running a CRT. And it's tough to run a CRT tournament, right? I mean, you have to source a lot of screens, a lot of boxes for, you know, if you want a good number of setups to get things moving along quickly. They have to be calibrated properly. If you bring some screen from somebody's house, you know, some CRT from somebody's house that, you know, has terrible geometry or terrible convergence or whatever, you're not going to have a good, even though it's lag free, you're not going to have a good time on it. Plus, like, they're just heavy as hell. They take up a lot of space. I mean, I see the benefits of going with monitors, but it is it pure? Is it, you know, does it convey the essence of Melee? That yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know if Pound is the right stage to test something like this out on. But again, I don't want to question the VG boys' methods because they have run far better and more tournaments than I will ever in my entire lifetime. But you know,
It's a hard follow up because of what Genesis just did, right? Like think about that. Genesis was such a great tournament. So,
Yeah.
you know, on a lot of people's fronts, they're just immediately going to be comparing it like, okay, you know, what is Pound doing that Genesis didn't, and is it a positive thing? A lot of people, for at least the Melee side of things, didn't seem that excited about it. But I have faith they'll still run a good tournament. I'll be watching from home. Gonna enjoy that. So, yeah.
yeah,
Also, quick shout out. Our boy Pyro's in the chat. We linked up with Pyro in person at Genesis.
Nice.
yes, we did.
Absolute homie, man. Love that guy. Just had to show some love, man. I see you, brother. Appreciate you a lot.
Yeah, thank you for pulling up on us. Let's try to make that a reoccurring thing. There's a lot of goons in the Shacknews chat, and just really in all of our supporting chats together. They need to pull up and come see us. We're human beings. Come see us. We like, wait, what was the ice cream spot we went to? Salt and Straw?
Straw. Good.
Ooh.
Good.
That I don't even eat ice cream like that. That had me in a chokehold. I was like, I think we went like 2 or 3 times, so we definitely got to make that a thing.
Beans, baby.
Fiends. Fiends indeed. You know what, though? I'm still fiending for some more Smash to talk about. Now, we're not done yet. We still got to talk about a little bit more Genesis 8. We got to talk about the international presence, all right? During top 8, if anybody watched it, or if you were in the venue, you could definitely feel the electricity. France showed up and showed out. Not even just France. Europe showed up and showed out. Of course, everybody cheers for the respective regions. But once, your player, starts to get eliminated, you start to find that next one to cling on to. And it felt like everybody in the room was rooting for Gluto for a little bit, man. That was just crazy to see, man. Phil, what were your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I gotta give up a lot of respect to Gluto. He so many times it's like, if Europe or he has like a bad performance, they just get memed on so hard by the chat. But you couldn't do nothing but show some love and respect for how this man performed at this second place at Genesis, bro. Come
Mm.
on. Like that just goes to show you all that time he put in, all that hard work paid off. Not to mention they rolled in like 30, 35 deep with the French boys, you know what I'm saying? And they were from start to finish. I'm talking about like from Friday doubles all the way to Sunday top 8. They did not. I don't know how they kept their voice. I need to take some notes from them. I don't know how they kept their voice going so strong because that don't make no sense. So much so they even had their own, they even flew over with their own streaming setup and equipment, right? And had
Mhm.
the setup, right next to the secondary streams. There was a French only stream that was featuring a lot of French players. And if you played on that setup, good luck to you because they had about 30 people surrounding and all cheering for your opponent. And I was like, you're in the gulag when you play on that setup for real. But I'm glad they were able to put that together. It was definitely like a unique experience. Maybe some people who lost on there might not feel the same way, but nonetheless, it's just kind of enabled us to get even more matches out of that, which I do appreciate. Since a couple of nights we had a hard cutoff because of like union stuff. But regardless of that, man, good showing from Gluto, overcoming Spargo too. Like every time Gluto won in top 8, it was so nice. It was so nice to see those emotions. Like beat Cola popped off, beat Zamba popped off. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Overcame Spargo popped off. Like he was just really like obviously satisfied. Beat Light popped off. This is a hell of a losers bracket run this kid went on. So I tip my hat to him, and he certainly earned it.
Yeah, what about you, Brian? Did you get a chance to like listen in or just maybe see some of the craziness that
I
was European Smash, really just international Smash there in general?
No, I did actually see a lot of the Twitter talk about Gluto
Hmm.
and just how he was popping off. Yeah, just tearing through losers bracket. This was really cool to see the international presence. I like to always see like a diverse mix of players from around the world when it comes to Smash tournaments. It always brings a nice shakeup in the meta. And like you said, it always brings like a nice little friendly rivalry for people, cheering for their regions and everything like that. You don't get those kinds of stories out of the tournaments if you don't have the international presence from players. So yeah, it was really nice to see this. Uh, we got to talk about Leo for sure. Army and Techno in chat is talking about how Leo was just going crazy this weekend as well.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, just there's just really no shortage of players who got their flowers this weekend, right? Like there's just
sure.
like yeah, like all of these players, like Leo, Glutany, uh Jmook and Spargo and Zane and like just everybody. I feel like everyone who played, everyone who got at least the top 8, they have a really awesome story to tell from this Genesis.
Yeah, and I've always felt like Genesis was more so like a family reunion more than anything else. Disguised as a tournament. There's been a lot of tournaments since Off White. Of course, there's been like Let's Make Big Moves. There's been Riptide, Low Tide, all these wonderful events. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. Working in like the broadcast into things, I don't even get to see a good chunk of the event because everything looks the same from my point of view. It's just a camera on me, Phil or whoever else to the left or right of me. We do the job, walk around a little bit, go eat food, X, Y, and Z. But Genesis just felt like one of those events where like, damn, like now I remember why I'm in this community. There's been a lot of whatever, a lot of talk about Smash, these last couple of years, and obviously for good reason, but it just felt like, damn, man, like, damn, there's Hbox, there's Mango, like, and there's no weird excuse on why somebody couldn't make it. It was like, yo, we gotta go to this. There's all my boys. Like, this was the first event that they had literally all the top commentators hired. Like, I don't even think like we have all been on the same bill like this, not once, between tons of CEOs, Evos, Pounds, whatever. So it felt good just to see everybody. Also, big shout out, not to veer off too much, to the Guild House. Wonderful esports / sports bar venue just right around the corner from the convention center. Did a really dope after party, all 4 days. They did a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday thing. Big shout out to the owners. If you're in the surrounding area, please, 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 please go check them out. But yes, MKLeo, my favorite player. I try not to talk too much about him, especially in moments like ultimate top 8s or top whatevers, because just the sheer conversation of him is going to take away so much from the other players. And I don't want to take away from anybody else's narratives, because we know that that's what Smash runs on, storylines and narratives. But yo, MKLeo, just an absolute monster. I mean, to see everybody else kind of struggle with Gluto, and then he just kind of just, you know what I'm saying, just shut the French toast off his fingers, was like, yo, we out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was crazy to see.
He was in a unique space too, because by Gluto's own admission, one of the reasons like he feels like he's improved so much is going down there and hanging out and staying with Leo for a couple weeks and just practicing. They're really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
When you're all that practice pays off and you actually get to meet one of your best friends, your homies in grand finals, that's pretty sick. The other side of that coin is, though, it's Leo. He knows your habits, he knows your character, he knows what it takes to win, and that's why he captured his 4th Genesis title, which I thought was just sensational on his part. I mean, that's insane. And I think three of them are in Ultimate, and one of them's in Smash 4. I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think he has one other one in Ultimate, and because he lost to Mars last year.
Yeah, so he lost that one. But yeah, man, it's absolutely insane. Hats off to him. I mean, what I think all that talk with people like, oh man, Byleth got exposed, and Leo's he needs to bring out the Joker, or just only play the Aegis, and he's like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna study film, I'm gonna study tape, I'm gonna refine my play, clean up a few areas, very little areas to clean up, but those few little areas that he needed to kind of clean up for certain matchups or maybe just players in general. He did just that, and that's why he went past Spargo with Byleth. He went past Leo with Light with Byleth. Went past Gluto with Byleth. That character is really good in the right hands, and Leo is still the best on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like the last 2 exchanges, going his way. Can't really argue about that one. Right?
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's the fact that he, he can lose and then show you that I have the resilience, what I'm saying? I have the tenacity to really dig deep, adapt on the fly, and then of course apply to the next tournament in the same position that you beat me in last. I mean, it's not like we're gonna play early or whatever. I'm gonna see you in top 8 somewhere. So big shout out to him. And of course, a big shout out to the Europeans. California audience is very much a California audience. Nothing has changed since the 2GG days. I thought that was limited to SoCal, but NorCal can get a little quiet sometimes. But I'm glad I was able to loosen them up. Leo, Spargo, Gluto, they made my job very easy up there at MSing. So I'm super happy to be a part of that, man. That was just such an amazing thing to see. Wow. Oh, by the way, I gotta do what Bryan does right now. I gotta do my best Bryan impression.
So
you ready?
Hold on. But first, before we move off of this, I just had to bring up one thing about Genesis 8, because there was this tweet that I saw tangential to Genesis 8. I follow a lot of like arcade, Twitter stuff, like real arcade, like but anyways, so there was a arcade setup right at Genesis 8, like side arcade with like rhythm games and fighting games and puzzle games and everything like that. And so apparently the guy who set up was in charge of setting up this arcade, tweeted out saying how much of a shame it was, like how empty this arcade was all the time. Like nobody's taking advantage of these games, nobody's playing these games. And he also mentioned what was there. Plus, I couldn't help but notice that he said that there were proper fighting games in the setup. Yeah. Which I thought was that was just way too much tea for me to handle. Yeah, like it's just really funny. But I just wondered, did you guys get a chance to check out the arcade? Did you did you pop off on any DDR?
So I'm not a DDR guy. I got footwork. I just don't got footwork like that. That's on another level. But I am a big arcade fan as well, like yourself. And I took a bunch of video, just of the arcade area all 3 days, because I'm trying to work on my little arcade thing back at home. So I'm like trying to, steal some ideas. But all jokes aside, though, it is a shame. I believe this is like my 4th Genesis that I've worked in. The arcade area is always great to see, but there's just something about Smashers and playing other games that when I go to CEO or Combo Breaker and they have Jabali Land set up, all the FGC guys love that. They'll play the DDR, they'll play all the other machines, But when it comes to Smash, it's like, hey, Smash is just creatively so much of a different game than playing Pokken Tournament, playing Street Fighter, playing Soul Calibur, that they just, these kids grew up in the they didn't grow up in the arcade era like we did. They grew up, with the home console and stuff. So like that thrill of putting another quarter in and playing over and over and over, they just don't have that locked in. But I don't know, Phil, did you get a chance to play DDR? You got the footwork, bro?
Hell no, bro. I mean, I don't got a problem with watching. I'm a casual observer, and I thought the arcade. I saw a couple of my homies actually check out the arcade section. Maybe not to like the extent that some people would have liked, but thing
Sure.
about that is like you're there for a Smash tournament. For a lot of these people, they hadn't been able to congregate like this in a long time and just kind of play, sit down, chill with their homies, and just play some Smash. That's what everybody essentially was there for, right? That was the mainstay, the main attraction. I think the arcade section was cool because it provided you with like just like an option if you want to try and go something and do something different, right? It wasn't mandatory, but the option was there, and I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, the sole focus of that event was certainly Smash. People were competing, enjoying, just holding their skills, taking advantage of it, and it was on a delay too. Remember, this was supposed to take place back in January, so obviously people wanted to go through and do their thing. So I mean, it was cool to see the arcade section, but I didn't personally play anything. I didn't see a Simpsons game there, so that's the
Is
end of
that your
me.
game?
That's my
That's the
game.
one.
There you
Okay,
go.
That's the
figure
one.
that. Figure
That
that
one
out.
and Turtles in Time. Those are the two arcade cabinets I'm actually missing. Like once I get those two, I'm gonna launch what I'm trying to launch. But that's just a huge nostalgia bug for me in my brain. Need those, man. Yeah, and again, not to harp too much on the arcade thing. I think more tournaments just need to focus more on like the side attractions. I know CEO has tried like panels, of course, the arcade, and I think Jabali kind of formulates some of these later CEOs off of his work with DreamHack and the Pokemon World Tour events, which are great events to base your template off of. But um, it's just tough for Genesis. I think this convention center, they had to sign like a really weird contract to be there. They had to actually buy out a contract, I think, in Oakland. They were supposed to go back, but I think after just like all the hoopla and like the safety concerns, and I don't really feel like Oakland was unsafe. I just feel like Smashers just don't have a brain in their head. Like probably not wise to leave a laptop exposed in your car while you're parked somewhere where you're not from. You got out of state plates. You're already a sitting duck. You're a target. But yeah, San Jose, I
Target.
think they were just working with different Mario coin this year. So hopefully next year we can get some extra rooms because I would like a dedicated arcade room, a dedicated food room too. I'm tired of eating chicken strips and pizza. I mean, it was good because we got to eat for free, but I had quinoa in Oakland. I had chicken strips in San Jose. Something not right. Something's not right. Yeah.
How was the Papa John's, by the way?
Oh, Papa John's was
Crisp.
actually really good. Yeah, talk to him,
Crisp.
Phil. Phil, you
Oh
had a you
man.
had a slice on top eight.
It's kind of funny. They were like, hey, just make sure you're always like talking positively about the people. I was like, dude, I like Papa John's. A lot of people actually just like Papa John's. I'm not the corporate shill here. I genuinely enjoy the product. Just make sure you give me some of that garlic butter sauce to go along with it. And sure enough, man, they had it backstage on day number 2. It was really good to enjoy. Got to get a hot, fresh piece on the top 8 stage yesterday, which was really cool. Didn't come with the garlic sauce. Obviously, I won't get too messy there. Still on
Sure.
camera. But no, it was good, man. Shouts to Papa John's. The lady, I can't remember. I think her name was Miss Amanda. She was like in charge of that particular project. Kind of
For the
making this happen.
collaboration.
Yeah, for multiple Smash events, and she was there at Genesis. And I met her through some of the BTS staff, and she was really cool. She was fine too. I ain't even gonna cap. I was sad when I heard she got a husband and a kid, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, I, I certainly appreciate everything she helped facilitate to make the tournaments get even more exposure and just support from like a big chain, big name brand like Papa John's. And hey, man, like I said, I've already been a fan, so you just kind of solidified it even further. Hopefully, we get
Yeah.
more brands involved like that, right? That's kind of what you want to see. Let's take advantage of this. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I agree. We had a lot of companies that really came through. I don't know if you guys could tell from like where you guys were watching at home, but like Medify was very on hands this year. I mean, they've really been a pillar in the event spaces. These last so many weeks, especially since we've come back from quarantine. But I think this was their first time where they actually had a set area and they could give out free stuff and just really put a face to the name. I mean, we know this company for partnering with players and letting them, coach others and blah blah blah. But we actually got to meet them this year, and they are just a really great team, very, very nice, have their own open bar area for themselves. They threw out a lot of free merch. I'm sure you guys may have seen the tweets about that. They were throwing out, like water bottles and
I
and
love
whatever.
Medify.
Yeah, love them
They're such
too.
homies, man. They're such homies.
Yeah, big, big homies. And of course, Red Bull was there too. So I agree with you, Phil. We definitely need more of that type of camaraderie. Hopefully we can get it. Pizza Hut was cool. I think Papa John's is going to be at Pound. So I'm definitely going to be excited for that this coming up weekend.
You guys are going to have to watch your weight if you're eating Papa John's at 12 events this year.
I mean, look, this here, Brian, this don't crack. Okay. I'm saying I don't got to go to the gym. Not yet at least. Maybe one day. I
definitely got to go to the gym. I ate like a fat ass all weekend.
Does it not crack because you put that Papa John's garlic butter as part of your skincare regimen?
The game is to be sold, not to be told, Krabs. What are you doing, man?
Sorry. My apologies, sir.
So you didn't know. Just don't let it happen again. No, all jokes aside, I love everything that I see. And friends, if you're loving everything that you see here at Shacknews and you already know what you need to do, and I'm going to try to do my best Bryan impression right now. You know you have to like the channel. You have to subscribe to us here on Twitch, okay? It's not that hard. Look, if you're a Smasher and you're watching this, you're a Genesis, Phil and I, we've seen your spending habits. You bought a Spiff jacket, you ate Korean barbecue 3 nights in a row, and then you didn't even have any money for an Uber. So look, collect yourself a couple dollars, okay? Return that jacket. Come spend it here with us at Shacknews, okay? It goes a very, very long way. It helps support everything that we do here. Because this is not the only program. We have a whole nother program after this. We have TV shows, talk shows all week, podcasts that we do, YouTube content, exclusive stuff with Greg Burke, okay? Our video editor. He does all types of interviews off to the side. Phenomenal interviewer, by the way. Be sure to go follow him on Twitter. Slack won't let me not know that he's verified. I get it. He's verified. He got the check mark. Me and Asif, we're working on ours, okay? Maybe one day. Yeah, and on top of that, too, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I believe we have Gamer Hub TV and Shacknews on YouTube. All types of crazy content there. Video reviews, previews, you know what I'm saying? Links from those videos back to our articles on shacknews.com where the sausage gets made. Of course, be sure to not only follow them, but follow us on Instagram as well, too. Shacknews Media. Okay, we got a squatter at Shacknews on Instagram. I don't know who we got to talk to, Mark Zuckerberg, but if you're listening to this, we would like the at Shacknews handle. Okay, we deserve greatness. All right.
I need to talk to Elon Musk now, bro.
Oh yeah, what's up with that? We might have to talk to Elon Musk. He's about to buy the whole internet. Is he really about to buy Twitter?
I hope so.
I mean, he's still gonna have shares, but he's not gonna be on the board.
Damn.
We are living in the stupidest timeline, so yes, it is going to happen.
We are definitely living in the stupidest timeline. Most definitely. Wow. Also, too, if you have a cell phone and a working brain and a cell phone with service, then you know what you need to do. You need to download Shack Pets. Look, all the doom scrolling out there between Elon Musk buying Jupiter and, you know what I'm saying, all the crazy stuff happening in all the corners of not just the United States, but the whole world. Take a break from doom scrolling and do some pet scrolling, okay? You can put your pets on there to compete with other pets, you know what I'm saying? Other cute pets is the ultimate cuteness battle. Or if you just need a break from the craziness that is life, you just want to look at pictures of kittens and puppies and stuff, you know, whatever. That is your place to do it. And it's completely free. That's the beautiful part of it. All you got to do is just make a Shacknews account. You know what I'm saying? It doubles on Shack Pets. It doubles on our website as well. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the action there. Big shout out to Boss Man Asif for putting his best foot forward and getting that app up and off the ground. That is a super awesome idea. I'm going to keep it real. You know, the app kind of makes me sad a little bit because when I be on there, I'm like, damn, man, I really miss my cats. I know you can do like a, you know, memoriam thing. I get it. But it's just like, man, back in the day, I had this cat. This little cat's name was Angus, man. This little black and white cat I found in the alley and just... Angus, if you watch him, man, I hope you're doing all right, man. I hope whatever family adopted you, you're doing your thing, man.
That's really sweet. I had a dog named Angus growing up, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I had an Angus burger yesterday. Very good.
God damn it, Phil.
Oh, it was good.
Well, I'm glad you like.
I hope it wasn't made of the same kind of Angus.
Oh,
that's right. It better not be, Phil, because we can talk about it.
Take it easy, man.
All right, I'm sorry. I get a little aggressive sometimes. But that's right. But yes, please be sure to support everything that we do here at Shacknews, okay? It ain't easy putting together all these talk shows throughout the week. Social media staying up to date. Big shout out to our boy DVD, Denny Von Doom, for doing what he does best, and that's keeping everybody on the timelines of all sorts, informed about the hip and happenings and the makings that is the Shacknews team. So please give him a follow on Twitter as well. He should be in the Twitch chat right now. I see Boss Man. I also see Krabs Gerard as well. So be sure to follow them if you love everything that happens at Shacknews. Without further ado, gentlemen, can we get into the next topic, though? Can we talk about it?
Well, I think we got to talk about it.
I think we do.
I wanted to say one more thing about Papa John's.
Okay, I'm listening.
I just wanted to shout out the next couple of events they'll be at. Obviously, Genesis Pass, Low Tide City, Smash Summit 13, CEO, Smash Con, Super Smash Con, Shine, Riptide, Ultimate Summit 5, Big House, Smash Summit 14, Apex, and main stage. So
Hmm.
you won't be able to have it at Pound unless you order it yourself there, buddy.
Okay.
Damn, man. All right. Well, Apex. Cool thing about Apex coming back is like they're coming back in a big way. So I mean, what better combination? Milk, cereal, peanut butter and jelly, video games, pizza. It just all kind of makes sense.
It'll be fire.
It's gonna be fire flames fitter. Only
Asif did have one more question about Smash as well. Just about how many Robs made it to top 32. Did you guys notice that?
damn. I actually didn't. How many Robs did make it? Did you see that, Phil? Were there a lot of Robs?
I have no idea. I remember seeing Zamba and Aaron used Rob to get through a
He
couple
did.
of sets too. He got ninth place.
Okay.
He had a really good run.
He did. Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Every so often, I feel like in a fighting game, there comes a time where the meta kind of gets a little over centralized with one character that kind of gets to like that top 48, 32, and it just starts kind of killing all those regional killers from whatever game you're in. I think when I used to do Street Fighter 5 a few years back with Red Bull, I think Cammy was a character that was doing that. Like we had a bunch of Cammys in a lot of the Red Bull qualifiers in top 48 and 32. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing out here with Rob. Rob, of course, strong character, has the boxing skills of Mario with the weight of Bowser, has a great recovery. I think obviously the biggest issue is just his size and his inability to land comfortably, but I'm actually not surprised at all. And a lot of the players who are also there have secondary characters as Rob. I think Bestness or Sen, whatever he goes by these days. I know he has like 12 names. He plays a really good Rob. I want to say Louis Money does as well. Benny and the Jets, who I believe was also in attendance. Zamba. So, I mean, there's a lot. And I don't think Epic Gabriel came, but there's a lot of strong Robs who can definitely tear up a top 32 bracket. I'm not surprised. Oh, and Army of Tech. Also, shout out to Rod on the stage doing some MC stuff at Genesis. Yeah, thank you. I tried my best, man. I just felt like EE and TK were going to take us home, and so I wanted to make sure I set the scene perfect for them. So thank you for that.
Brother.
That was really clean. I saw
No
the
ifs,
shots
ands,
on
or
Twitter.
What's about it, baby?
I had to do it for Wakanda. And yes, Brian, you do have an invite to Wakanda in the cookout, man. I got you on the list. It wouldn't be the same without you. And Krabs, you can come too.
Thank you.
Anytime. But yeah, let's talk about another game. Let's talk about Overwatch 2. I know everybody loves Overwatch 1. I mean, it's like our favorite game here on Shacknews, you know what I'm saying? But we just had a new character announced, Sojourn, and we actually have a bit of an overview on their weaponry. Has railgun primary fire, rapid firing projectiles that generates energy on impact, secondary fire, high impact shot that consumes stored energy. Has a power slide, ground slide that can cancel into high jump, disruptor shot, launch enemy, shot slows and deals damage to enemies within it. Good Lord, what can't this character do? And then the ultimate is overclock. Railgun energy auto charges for a short duration and charge shots pierce enemies. So it looks like Overwatch 2 is starting to hit the ground running. Did you guys get the opportunity to kind of check this little thing out that was tweeted?
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like this seems like kind of a mobility focused sniper kind of character. With your ground slide that you can cancel into a high jump. So yeah, you got some mobility focus there. Railgun obviously being like a hit scan weapon, so that means whenever you fire the trigger, whatever in your target that gets hit immediately, right? There's no projectile time that you got to wait for or whatever. So it's very sniper kind of focused. And then the ultimate with how it pierces enemies, that's going to set up some crazy shots if you're able to line up multiple enemies, in a row. And obviously when you have teams that are like, focused into chokeholds on the map, because Overwatch maps are heavily focused around like chokehold areas, and then that open up into like arenas that go into another chokehold for the next point and everything. So yeah, if you can get those lineups through those chokeholds and get 3, maybe 4 characters in a row and get that overclock or that overclock shot off, this could be really devastating for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. What about you, Phil?
I legitimately haven't thought about Overwatch in so long, but I'll tell you the truth. I'm gonna play Overwatch 2. I'm gonna give it a legit shot. Cause like, what if it's just like what if it just has like a Fortnite PUBG-esque effect on me, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I could just
What type of effect is that? What type of effect is that, Phil?
like I just want to play it like 8 hours a day.
Oh,
because like the original Overwatch, I actually did like invest a lot of time and I played for quite a while, but I don't know, I just kind of fell out of favor with it. I think it was
Mhm.
mainly because my computer at the time was dog shit, so I couldn't run it properly. So I was like, what's the point of doing this? But I have a really good computer now, so I definitely think it would be worth checking out.
Sure.
Hopefully I can get like a little invite to something and just pull up and see what's good.
I mean, if you
I'm
check
down.
if you check the company Discord, you would see that we might actually be able to make a thing or two maybe possibly happen in there. I mean, no promises, you know what I'm saying, but it is possible. You know, we can make great things come true here at Shack, brother.
Dang, man. You're like a black leprechaun, baby.
I'm Negro Damas, okay? Don't play with me.
Hey, you
All right.
win. You
to
win.
to answer Trash's question, I think Overwatch is not that hard to get into. Like,
Mhm.
if you can play Call of Duty and whatnot, you could get into Overwatch because
100%.
yeah, it has characters that are really geared towards, not like kind of easing you into the game, right? There are
Mhm.
characters that are have a much higher difficulty curve, characters that are a little bit more technical as far as their abilities go. But then there are
Mhm.
characters like Bastion, it's just a turret.
Yes.
You just
Yep,
sit
yep.
you just sit your ass down and you just shoot, just pull the trigger. So yeah, or Torbjorn, right? You set up your turrets and they kind of do the work for you.
Mhm.
But
Sorry about
obviously
that. Void's back.
there's meta to learn. There's techniques and tricks to learn with each character. But yeah, there are characters that are way more geared to kind of easing you into the game for sure.
Yeah, and I think that was one thing I really came to love about Overwatch. I know people dunk on it a lot, and honestly, given how the company has treated the game and really how the community has really treated itself, there is a lot of reason to dunk on it. But the few times I've actually had the opportunity to get like hands on with the original one, like early on, I felt like I almost felt like at home. And I've always been historically garbage at shooters, and I've expressed that thoroughly on here. That's why I'm really happy you guys don't ask me to come and do any of like the FPS stuff that you guys do because it would be horrible. Okay, but all jokes aside, I like that they just have different types of characters, and I love the variety. I love that everybody can play a different type of role, and I also love the aesthetic differences between the characters as well. Usually in some games, the characters all have like a similar look and vibe and feel.
Hmm.
But I mean, even looking at this new character here for Overwatch 2 and the original cast of the first game, I'm like, wow, like the developers and whoever's really in charge of like the aesthetic differences between each one, they're really doing some great work here. Like no two characters feel the same, no two characters look alike. As well as the maps too. Like everything just feels like its own thing.
Overwatch will forever be, in my mind, cemented by that one DJ Khaled performance at the Worlds they had or something like that. That was the most awkward shit I've ever had. But the game, and you know what? A new game comes new possibilities. So I'm gonna check it out. And you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it'll reach the level of Fortnite is in my life right now, but shit, you never know. I've seen some of them paychecks Vicky's getting, man. It might be time, Rod.
Listen,
It
cause
might
can
be
we
time.
time? Cause listen, man, I had the opportunity to talk to Vicky, man, for the first time, and God, we don't get to see Vicky a lot these days, but when she comes up, it's always a party. It's always a treat when players meet. She pulled up and she was just telling us about some of the things she's been up to. She's like, yeah, I got to do this Overwatch gig, so I can't stay. And I got to go and do that thing with Nintendo because I can't stay and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really tell us, obviously, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell what you're making. I mean, that's just bad in any sort of work environment. But I was like, she's alluding, you know what I'm saying, to what's going on. I'm like, you
Yeah.
got a sponsorship at Hot Topic and you just bought a Tesla? She was like, yeah. And you just moved, you know what I'm saying? You got a nice spot in Miami? Offer these Overwatch checks. And she said, yeah. I'm like, okay, Bill, it might be time, man. I think the brothers might need to come through.
With it.
Let's get Brian and Crouch. If y'all want a spot, y'all can pull up too, man. I mean, I think there's enough money in Overwatch for all of us to eat.
I'm sure. I mean, Activision Blizzard is definitely not giving up on this IP, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
a huge hit for them. It's had its downward spiral. It's had its uh, key turnover, its key staff turnover. It's had issues.
Sure.
Um, but even with all that, you don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, "Well, Overwatch is dead." Everyone on the internet says it's a dead game. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
companies. That's not how companies operate, right? They're not going to go off of just what some jaboofers on Twitter are saying. Obviously, they know that Overwatch is still worth a lot of money. It's worth a lot of money. The brand still has a lot of cachet. The game itself, the IP itself, still has a ton of fans.
Sure.
Still has
There's
a lot
still
of
a
people
lot of
playing it.
goodwill to be running to the ground.
Exactly, Krabs. So Overwatch 2, I think could be a return to form for the game. I hope it is. I really loved playing the first game when it first came out. I played it for well over a year,
Sure.
and I really enjoyed the time that I played with it. So yeah, this could be a big for them. I know they want it to be, right. Like they want this to be as big as Fortnite.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like there's no reason why they don't want it to be that big. And it could be again if, like I said, if the game is able to kind of bring back the momentum that the first one had, if it's able to hit the same notes within people, like, if it's able to evoke those same gameplay moments, the same feelings that people had when they first played Overwatch, yeah,
Sure.
I think it could be successful. And if they could get a successful Overwatch League going again, then yeah, we could absolutely see the return of Overwatch as the AAA esport that it once was.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there's a lot of things that kind of worked a little unfairly to Overwatch with them kind of starting out a little bit earlier than some of the other, whether it be arena shooters or just traditional FPS shooters. Um, I think one of the biggest one is like more of the casual style events, like more of the streamer friendly stuff. Like we didn't really get a lot of that when Overwatch came out. Like everybody were they're basically just try harding their way, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, to the top, which is fine. I mean, again, they wanted that competitive nature, they wanted that competitive viability, that respect that some of the other ones got. What I'm saying, with the aesthetic differences that made Overwatch what it was. But when I think of like Apex and Fortnite, those games are obviously competitive when they need to be, fun when they need to be. A shooter having that healthy switch is how you really gain, respect from both ends of the gaming spectrum. But with Fortnite and stuff having stuff like Twitch Rivals, what I'm saying, more streamer friendly content, which is cool. I know that's your favorite tournament, Brian. I know you love yourself some Twitch
Oh yeah,
Rivals.
Twitch Rivals is real esports, baby.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with Twitch Rivals, all right?
All right. I knew this was going to happen. I feel like Overwatch just needs a little bit more of that. There's a lot of personality that I think could go into it. Like EE, I mean, obviously EE's fun to watch, fun to listen to. I mean, you put him, in an Overwatch 2 tournament with Twitch Rivals, he's going to fucking turn it up.
I think Overwatch 2 could have that avenue for content creation for more
Mhm.
friendlier type of, experiences, because it supposedly does have a huge co-op uh, component to it. Half of the
Mhm.
game is supposed to be a large cooperative campaign that takes, how Overwatch had those one-off events where you would play with a team against the robots or whatever, and you
Mhm.
would do like these cooperative events that they did one-offs for Halloween and things like that. This is supposed to take that and um, expand it into a full campaign with evolving backdrops and different characters and heroes that you use throughout. So that in itself could lend it, yeah, that could lend itself into more friendlier content creation, right? Because then it would just be you and other content creators probably all squatted up together, just doing your co-op stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we'll have to really see like where they take this game because, like, I mean,
Yeah.
there are just like so many things that went wrong. Despite like, I remember I went to an Overwatch like game in Burbank and it was really cool. Like to be in that arena. It wasn't that huge, but it was like a good size or whatever, and there was a lot of fans there, and it seemed like pretty popping. And this was at the time when remember all those like football teams were like investing and they were talking about like Overwatch League is going to be from city to city, what I'm saying, like it was supposed to be like humongous and TV
Mhm.
deals. And they made that big switch to YouTube, which I think was a terrible decision personally. At
Sure.
least that early on. I don't know, I don't think that was worth it at all. I think you got to build that up on Twitch for a while. And yeah, it definitely had some like missteps, but I think this is a good chance to kind of breathe some fresh air into the Overwatch scene because obviously a lot of people are going to check out Overwatch 2. If you want to make this a competitive spectacle, that that spectator mode's got to be better. Like I know, like through they improved it,
Yeah.
gradually throughout, but you got to kind of come out the gate swinging and really like make this shit count. In my opinion, I think that's the only way. I think that's the only way this game gets to where they think it has the potential to be in the competitive aspect of things.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
doubt. I think they just early on in the beginning of the first game, they spent too much time trying to make themselves different from others. in like some of the wrong areas, and then trying to dip their toes into some of the areas where they kind of fall in line with other shooters. Like the TV deals, I thought would have been really cool to see. And if I'm not mistaken, did they do one or two? And they didn't do very many, but did they do a couple TV ones?
Overwatch was on TV
Yeah, it was on major
for a few
networks.
events. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They did like TBS or like ESPN2 or something like that. But yeah, they try to jump into that. And I think that that's not entirely a terrible avenue for them to kind of dip their toes into. But we already don't have the greatest rapport with the actual streaming, like the live, Twitch, YouTube community. You left Twitch, here you are on YouTube trying to do your thing. I mean, the esports community doesn't really even know what the hell is happening, when it's happening. I mean, you have they put out a schedule. I do remember that, and YouTube was on it, but like I think just like the pre-programming subconscious mindset that a lot of the people in esports have, like when they see Overwatch League went live, this whatever went live on Twitch, boom, I click it, I'm there. But like YouTube, you just don't really get that same sort of push, that same sort of feedback when they go live. And let's just be real, it's also a lot different to goon in the chat on YouTube. I mean, gooning in the Twitch chat, cool. I could just spam the Blake emote. I can spam the Donovan emote as much as I want, have as much fun. But on YouTube, it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same feel. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. There's just a different culture kind of to the chat, and that's just I guess that's just an interesting topic in itself, right? Just the kind of individual cultures different website chats have kind of cultivated over time. And Twitch is definitely its own beast for sure. And you're right, it just doesn't feel the same anywhere else. And yeah, it didn't really do Overwatch any favors signing that YouTube deal. I feel like, I mean, I know there was a big bag involved in that,
Yeah.
but I I I guess you're right in that the big bags kind of just dominated all of the decisions with Overwatch 1.
Right.
That was just, it was all about, the biggest and the best and the most hype presentation. They wanted to be the premier esport immediately, just over top of everything. And yeah, I think that kind of bit them in the ass. I think maybe there could be some room for smaller content creation focused events. But yeah, we'll see. I don't think that's the way Activision Blizzard will want to go with it, though. I think they'll want to go big, just like they did the first time.
Yeah, and I don't blame them at this point. Landscape's a little bit different. You know what I mean? They gave it a very similar approach, like what we've seen with fighting games. Like a new fighting game comes out, all the commentators and TOs and stuff try to get in on it, and then when the dust settles, money disappears, we disappear, so on and so forth. So, from one shooter to another one, we got to talk about Valorant, and should we get the bad news out of the way first? Should we do that? Let's get the bad news out the way
Well, yeah,
first.
and I mean it kind of goes together because this the person we're talking about used to play Overwatch and then switched over to Valorant.
Yeah. Let's get the bad news out of the way. So let's talk about and this is actually just brought to my attention from Boss Man, man. J1 goes by Sinatraa, says it's been a year since I was forced to step back from competitive play. In that time, I've learned a lot about myself and grown as a person. I'm now ready to return to competitive play. We'll be starting tryouts this week. So I actually had the opportunity to try to sift through these Twitter comments, and they are, split down the middle like how I expected them to be. Obviously, he's a top, player, and I would imagine a lot of content as well. So he has a lot of fans. But then there's also some other people who aren't so willing to let go of the antics. Now, the story goes, he had a girlfriend, and he was abusing her. He was just being an absolute terrible person. And in that time, a lot of people feel like his time away, he didn't really work on himself as much as he says that he has. Did you guys get the opportunity to look into this at all?
I definitely looked into it a little bit, and yeah, kind of mixed feelings on this because for number one, I mean, to like the statement itself, like saying that I was forced to step back from competitive play, like, homie, you were sexually abusing your girlfriend. Like, there's a reason, right? It's not like they were like, well, you can't play anymore because we just don't want you to. Yeah, and there there was a police investigation, but his ex-girlfriend basically was getting so many death threats, getting so much online harassment, getting doxxed constantly over this situation that she just wanted to get it all in the past and, you know, just move on with her life. And I could see, I couldn't blame a person for wanting to do that. So this player, Sinatraa, has not been formally punished for his actions. You know, there has been no criminal charges. The only real punitive thing that happened was not being able to play for a year. But yeah, coming back and announcing the comeback and announcing the return to tryouts, yeah, is very complicated because yeah, it does kind of send a message to the community saying that, you know, this kind of stuff is still okay when it's
Sure.
absolutely not okay.
No, absolutely not. What
Can
about you,
I
Phil? What do you
can
think?
I can I play devil's advocate here?
You got to, Phil. That's why we have you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. This didn't surprise me in the least. It didn't surprise me in the least. Like I'm just gonna keep it real. And the reason I say that is because like, you know, as somebody who's a big fan of like sports, like there's a ton of players who play football and basketball who have been under like similar like accusations or criticisms. And guess what? Teams still sign them because they still see that talent and that's all they care about. So you know, obviously I'm not condoning anything this guy did. You know, I know it didn't like go to trial or whatever, but I mean, I think like, you know, it's okay to believe in innocent till proven guilty, but it's also okay to imply some common sense, which I think a lot of people like overlook. Like, dude, if you know someone's a shitter, they're a shitter. Like that's, you know, that's basically all that is. I don't know why that's so hard for people to grasp. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you know Riot or whomever is in charge of allowing people to play in these leagues, if they elect, hey, you know what, you know, our investigation is done and hands off for this, you know what I'm saying? We're not pursuing it. And that that spot is open for him to return. Somebody's going to sign him. Like, I guarantee you somebody's going to sign him. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Just off of like, you know, for your brand's image, just given everything that's kind of circulating around this guy. But,
Sure.
you know, just from what I've seen, like over my years of just following and covering sports, I know for a fact, like that talent can sometimes trump all, even like the right thing to do. So, you know, this guy, if he's allowed to, he's going to be playing somewhere, like point blank period. So I have a lot of people upset, rightfully so, but it doesn't surprise me one bit.
No, me neither. You know, I guess the difference between esports and traditional sports is that, you know, regular sports, of course, there's way more money on the line. I know esports is getting to it with, you know, the implementation, excuse me, of you know, crypto and just like more, you know, traditional athletes getting in. But let's just be real, traditional sports is always going to be cash king. And because of that, there's going to be more positions for people to work in PR and to help people, you know, either sweep things under the rug or to do your tweets and shit for you and things as such. And I can certainly tell that he did not have a PR person of any sort do this tweet for him because, like Bryan said, using the word forced kind of gives off the illusion that you would have stayed had it not been for this, when in reality you should have definitely taken a step back and worked
Yeah.
on yourself. And
I
it's
agree
kind
with
of
that.
tough
Yeah.
because, you know, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, I feel like, in getting canceled. Like, nobody can really determine if you've learned. You really just have to kind of bow out the most gracious way possible, let them know, hey, I'm gonna miss everybody, I love y'all, boom, we out. But, you know, if you don't give a graceful exit, you know what I'm saying, the return is not going to be great, because the internet, don't forget, okay, I've always told Phil this, and I'll say it here. The only thing stronger than sometimes like Me Too on Twitter is those goons on Twitter who like to do the this you. So like, oh, this you? I know this ain't you. This you in this tweet. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, you really have to make sure that when you're working with people, you know, in accordance to trying to work on yourself, that, you know, you just make sure that, hey, my statement is clear. I'm sorry. And actually genuinely be sorry. Don't just, you know, put together this like Shakespeare post just for the sake of, you know, maybe hoping to return later. Be sure that, you know, hey, I am working on myself, going to therapy, whatever, however you got to do it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that way when you come back, you know, they might accept you with some slightly open arms. I mean, no promises, of course, because depending on the crime, you know what I'm saying, you might not actually be able to come back. I think for something like this, had he been a lesser player or a lesser person in the community, there's no way he would have been let back in. But like Phil said, you know, you got the content behind you, the years of experience behind you, just everything that you are in the industry. It's hard for teams to say no. I think for any team out there probably listening to this, the best thing to do for a person like him is to actually make sure he's getting help and actually make sure that he is better. Make him take some women's abuse classes. You know, give back to the community service, whatever the case may be. You know, and again, not for the sake of him just doing it just to show face, because financially, it wouldn't be hard for him to sign up for a class, but actually make sure he means it because, dude, I mean, these players, especially in this corner of esports, the shooters, they have a very, very strong hold on young people, probably a lot more than fighting games do. I mean, a lot of fighting game players at top professional level, they're about, my age or older, 28 going on 30 into their mid 30s. But some of these guys, these young people in esports, like in these shooters, these people are like, 18, 19 years old. And what did Vicky say? She said, or no, we talked about it at dinner. Some of these people these young people who work in these esports, they make like $300,000 a year, something crazy like that. Like you
Yeah.
can't be that young making that much money without somebody having a watch while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, and like one of the things I read too when I was kind of like tracking this a little bit was like they're saying like he didn't actually go to like the classes he was supposed to do or something like that. So there's definitely gonna there's definitely gonna be some more layers to this one and how it unfolds. But I mean, shit, if you're gonna try and come back, obviously it's gonna make a lot of people uncomfortable. But if you're gonna try and you're given the okay by the the big dogs to do so, damn man, at least do it right. At least
Mhm.
do it right. So. We'll
Yeah.
see
That's
what
right.
happens with that shit.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, especially with what Rod was saying with actually taking or showing that you're taking steps to
I'm
improving
saying.
yourself and growing. Because I I um I believe that uh people should be allowed a chance to improve themselves, right? People should be allowed a chance to learn, to grow, to make themselves better, to make themselves a better person. I
Hmm.
don't I don't feel like uh you know someone should be condemned for the rest of their life for certain actions. Obviously, certain things are completely whatever I'm trying to say,
Reprehensible.
reprehensible. Yeah, but it's just the fact is, people should try to
Mm.
uh, improve, but just
Mhm.
saying that you've grown doesn't really show anything, right? Like, and this is just like a pattern that I've seen with a lot of these people who have been um forced out of competitive play,
Right.
exactly. Not just in Overwatch, but in the Smash Brothers community and other communities who have had shakeups from these abuse scandals, right? Like, because
Sure.
the Smash Brothers one was huge, obviously, maybe the biggest one. I mean, it was, the Armageddon, as they call it. It it obviously had a lot of people step back, take a look at themselves, take a look at how they act, and try to improve themselves. And a lot of people have come back with these twitlongers or Twitter posts or social media posts, YouTube videos that claim that they're growing or learned a lot about themselves or whatever, but in effect don't really show any proof or show anything to like back up those words, to back up those statements. And I mean, I feel like it's getting to the point where, yeah, like we need to see something, right? We got to see something.
Yeah, I mean, gaming is at the end of the day, gaming and being in the community is just like a privilege. So, you know, but I mean, you could argue some of this stuff that we've read and seen happen, and no, I don't want to say like get away with, but like not get maybe like a punishment you think would be more appropriate. Shit, man. So is freedom. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
mean, there's a lot of contradiction in freedom. I will agree with you on that, Phil. It's a tough one to really, unfold, especially with esports. Unlike, regular sports, there's a huge separation between fans, and just whatever, and of course the professional athletes. Where in an environment like esports, for the most part, because there are some where like, you can't really be by the athletes. Um, everybody's kind of together. You know what I mean? Like I can see you, I'm a lot closer to you. I have a lot more ways to interact with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting a lot closer. And so because of that, like I will agree with you on that, Brian. Like people are gonna just naturally feel uncomfortable. Um, I also agree with that. He should, be able to redeem himself. Everybody should, giving, the circumstances,
Yeah.
yeah, but something like this, I think he can certainly show the world, hey, I'm a better person. I might not be able to fall back in favor where I was once before with you guys. I know that, but hey, I just want the world to know, no matter how you guys feel, I am working on myself, doing my community service. But we just didn't really get that. He just tried to kind of cool guy his way back and like, hey, y'all, it's me. I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pulling up to the party. Let's get litty. And it's just like,
Well,
it's just it's setting this precedent where these people are just going to be able to come back, and just be like, well, I know I fucked up, but I'm better now. So let's
Right.
go. Let's get that bag. And everyone's just going to be like, okay, cool, right? It's all gravy. Everything's back to business as usual. And like, we can't do that because it just, it provides no closure or respect for the
Sure.
victims of this abuse.
Right. It doesn't. And it just kind of goes to show that, oh, he can just have whatever sort of power and whatever he wants to do. He can parade around any type of way he wants. And I'm the one that's dealing with all the, after effects, the baggage, as a survivor. So I really do hope that, when he comes back, not to harp on this topic too much, I hope that if he is back, he is actually working. Oh, my bad. Camera almost went out. He is actually working on himself because holy shit. But in better news, though, in news that I know that Phil will really be into with leaks and rumors and things as such, there was a new character leak for Valorant. Her name is Fade. And I'm gonna read this thing word for word because when this was all written out, I was like, I don't want to paraphrase this. This looks actually like very eloquently written. Bear your fears, or she will hunt them. Fade, Valorant's new Turkish agent stalks her prey with equal parts terror and tactics. Go ahead, try to hide. She follows the theme of fear that's been used in Valorant these last so many weeks, Turkish in origin, and will provide an intimate feeling when hunting down enemies. Valorant kind of confirmed her 3 hours ago. They kind of posted the Shadow Super Smash Brothers outline of her, but the leaks, the data miners have actually found the real picture and the artwork of her. Think it's really dope. Valorant, just like Overwatch, has really unique, really cool characters that certainly play an effect to the overall theme of the battle. What were your guys' thoughts on this if you had a chance to see it?
Uh, I don't
Uh-oh.
know.
Uh-oh. Brian says, something's coming.
It just seems to me, it doesn't seem. I would need to see it in action, but the description just seems like you're still playing Valorant, right? Like
Sure.
hunting your prey with terror and tactics. Like you could apply that to any team-based shooter. Yeah, it doesn't really show how she's going to affect the meta or anything like that. You just know that it's a Turkish character, and that's cool. I mean, I'm
Sure.
all for representation from all different nations.
Bars.
Absolutely. It just, yeah. I mean, I need to see more. Valorant, I feel, it's a slower game. It's not my favorite. So it's hard for me to get excited about these kinds of leaks. But especially when it's a game from Riot, and I'm just not.
No.
Riot has been problematic company. I mean,
No.
obviously they're a safe haven for people like Sinatraa that we were just talking about.
Yeah, but look at all the
So
money they make.
they do make so much of it, don't they? Um, yeah, so it's cool. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. What do you think, Phil?
I think it's pretty dope. I mean, I personally like spectating Valorant a lot. I think it's a really dope game. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea. I know those pure CS players, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't want you to have like abilities in shooters or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I personally like Valorant. I need to boot it up and play a little bit more, for sure. But good, and I think Valorant too, like kind of like the way they do their esports is like a really dope way. Like remember how they start out like this grassroots, right? We're not gonna really be too hands on. We'll let people just run their own events, and then we'll kind of gradually seep our way in. I almost feel like that's a model that new Overwatch game could kind of take. Like, don't try and blow your load right out the gate, right? Let's casually, ingratiate yourself in
That's
with
a
the
good
community
point.
again, and let it build organically and naturally, and then start to kind of trickle in there, take it to new heights. It doesn't have to be boom right out the gate, just everything at once. That can overwhelm people sometimes, and it's hard to
Yeah,
sustain, right? You have to eventually take a step back.
yeah, I agree. I think it's good to kind of let the mind wander a little bit and just try to keep things ambiguous. Again, I've always been a really big fan of the character designs here as of late. I'm gonna be real. I'm kind of into some of these FPS games, arena shooters, their character designs a little bit more than fighting games here as of late. I think the last fighting game character design I've really been wild by may have been like maybe Eunice, maybe no, Grand Blue. Grand Blue definitely had a very unique kind of design to themselves, but for the most part, I really feel like the shooters are kind of just taking like the ideas and innovation in these pitch meetings and just really hitting the ground running with it. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of these shooters are not ran by great companies, so but at least that is getting listened to. That's some sort of a start. I don't know if it's the healthiest one, but I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. The fact that you have diehard Valorant enthusiasts are willing to leak the game at this level, I think really says a lot to like what people want to
Yeah.
see and how people want to see it in a timely fashion. And I guess this news serves a little bit better than what we talked about last week. Where I think was it Valorant Mobile that we brought
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah. We were talking about Valorant
yeah,
Mobile.
and you talked about how much you loved it, Brian. I remember you said you're going to
Oh
download it
yeah,
day one. Yeah.
absolutely. I got it pre-ordered right now.
There you go.
Yeah, really excited to see where this is going to go here. Valorant, of course, has always just been making waves and strides in the shooting game scene, and because of that, they have the staying power that they do. I mean, you don't have data miners and leakers for games you hate. You know what I'm saying? It's only for good games. You know what I'm saying? We only try to hate the good ones.
Yeah, I think you're right. This does show a lot of community enthusiasm for Valorant.
Mhm.
Obviously, I mean, any kind of big game is going to have people, digging into the files and trying to find secrets that aren't hidden quite as well, so they can, break it first on the internet and get that, internet first clout. Uh, but yeah, I feel like as far as this character specifically goes,
Sure.
though, I feel like she will be a cool addition to the Valorant roster of characters. I definitely like to see. I like to see more female characters in the hero shooter space.
Mhm.
Being such a male dominated scene, I like to see. Like I was saying, I like to see the representation from more countries. Yeah, I just want to see more of the character's abilities and how her stealth, how her terror and tactics are going to come into play.
Yeah, very curious to see how this is going to play out, man. On the subject of women doing great things, we got to talk about our homegirl, Cuddlecore. Now, for those of y'all that are just tuning in, or maybe your first time Shack viewer, we had Cuddlecore on a few weeks ago for Women's History Month. And man, what an interview that was. She really gave us the full everything and then some. You know what I'm saying? She really broke down her origins as a Midwesterner coming in, through the Tekken space, who she was all the way back in Tekken 5 DR, all the way to who she is right now in Tekken 7. Really just a voice, not specifically only for women, really for everybody, especially POCs, but obviously but for who she is and her work, really highlighting just the coolness that is esports and how women can interact with it in a safe and positive way. And she actually had an interview with Katie Couric just I want to say about a week or so ago. I actually caught this one kind of late, but it was a segment called Daring to Disrupt, and basically what it does is it highlights Black women in esports and how they're trailblazing in their journey. And in this interview, she really went on to talk about a lot of the same things she talked about with us. But I think she had the opportunity to kind of dive in a lot more on, being a woman in the space and what this means to the overall bigger picture in esports. Did you guys get a chance to watch the video a little bit?
I did actually.
Mm-hmm.
And just congratulations, first of all, to Janelle and her initiative. I mean, this is really, really great. And to be interviewed by the iconic Katie Couric,
I know.
like that is got to be
It's a
a
name.
huge deal. Yeah, that is just incredible. So yeah, really kudos for her. I mean, I'm shocked that we interviewed the same person that Katie Couric is now interviewed. I mean, that's got to be a Shacknews Wide World of Esports first.
Well, you know how we do at Shacknews. If it ain't Shack, when you know what it is, it's going to be whack. But
It's
all jokes
whack.
aside, that interview actually wasn't whack. And Katie Couric, being a New York Times bestselling author and on tour, for being Katie Couric, just the awesome person that she is, I think that really says a lot. But Phil, did you happen to get a chance to check it out at all?
No, I didn't get a chance to check it out, but I mean, we had her on our show. Obviously, she was amazing. I like when like genuinely good people with good hearts and like legitimately want to elevate other people, even those less represented, just get like the spotlight they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always funny to me because I'm always just like, man, I really think a lot of these people have so much good potential and legitimate goodwill
Mhm.
within them. And when they get highlighted, you know what I'm saying, on platforms that are worthy of like, giving them that kind of attention, it's always a dope thing, man. That chick was mad cool. And I hope she continues to just do great things, man. Maybe another year from now or so we get her back on, man. If we can afford her. Cause
If we can afford it,
the
right?
way she's trending, man. Hold on now.
I know New York Best Times, is the best selling author. That's what I'm saying, you moving a little different out here in these New York streets. So we'll see, man.
Crazy.
But no, all jokes aside, man, we've met a lot of people, not just esports, but gaming, and a lot of them have like this, hey, I'm just here to help everybody and I love everybody and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a very similar story, very similar to like how companies have to pitch education and togetherness to sponsors so they can get money and stuff, but when we had her on, we felt like, it came from a very genuine place, especially when I went back and looked at some of the old footage and the pictures of her. I was like, oh yeah, this person is, from where I'm from, just about, grew up very similar origins, just wants to play games. And then somewhere along the line had the idea like, hey, wait a minute, I'm beating a lot of ass. People are starting to look up to me. The quote Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. I mean, you don't really have to, but she's taken it upon herself to make sure that she is a good example of not only just being what an esports athlete should look like, but being the best version of herself. That's what you have to show these young people coming up. And I think, she's just doing an awesome job of that. I mean, featured on Vice magazine, that's a really big ass deal. Yep. I'm sure ESPN all across the board. I believe Forbes was in there too. I mean, Forbes just doesn't put any old damn body on there. I mean, shit, I'm not gonna make the 30 under 30. I'll be lucky if I make the 40 under 40, but she was able to make the list, at her age. And I'm like, good Lord, you're awesome.
No, absolutely. It's really cool to see her just get more of this mainstream media exposure, right? I think it's important for her message in trying to create a space for Black women in gaming is very important, and for it to reach this kind of mass media exposure is just super incredible, right? Like I know. Like we're Shacknews, and we have our exposure, and we definitely have our fans, and we appreciate everybody. But Katie Couric that's a little bit of a step up. I mean there's potentially millions of people who will watch this and see this and maybe be inspired by Janelle's story and try to get into competitive gaming as well. And yeah, that just really makes me happy to see that.
Yeah, same. I wish her the best, and hell, like Phil said, I hope we can get her back one day in about a year or so, and we can afford her.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will.
Yeah, and we'll see. Yeah, maybe this time I can get her to play some tech with me. I mean, however great she is now, I'm sure she'll be a billion times better than, from then till now. And I would love to get my ass beat on stream. Just for the sake of shits and giggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so make sure you check out that interview that we did with her. It's Krabs dropped it in the chat there. So yeah, make sure if you didn't see that one, make sure you go and check it out.
Yes, please do. And with that in mind, friends, I think that's going to actually conclude the esports portion of Wide World of Electronic Sports. But you know what that means now. Now we got to get into the wide world of Sauce Talk, okay? It's Sauce Talk time. And boy, do we got some topics. Some different topics too this time. Usually Sauce Talk is like, this item's coming back, and then this item's coming back, and boom, boom, boom. But we got like kind of sauce talk that affects you in some slightly different ways. The first one is I linked a video of a young man from USFL actually got cut from the team, his football team, for ordering pizza instead of chicken salad. Now listen, this actually sounds wild, but I've seen videos, especially my boys in high school who like went on to play college ball. Like after we all got done hooping together, I'm like, y'all continue to be broke. I want to go get some money. But the coaches would be on them. Like, what I'm saying? We would step out. We'd go to the club. What I'm saying? Some of the coaches would actually pull up, be like, hey, you're not supposed to be at the club. You're supposed to be in bed. We got a game. Like, what I'm saying? What are you doing? Like, it's serious. Now, I don't know if it's ever been pizza versus chicken salad serious, but I have seen people held accountable in some strange ways. What do you guys think?
You got some interesting ways to try and keep these brothers in check. I mean, Lord have mercy. Like a pizza is costing us positions on a team. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I get it. Like maybe, it's like a little too close to game time, right? Like you're about to play tomorrow or something like that. So you kind of want to tighten up the diet. But, you can reprimand somebody without cutting them. Like, I don't know if this was like how many strikes maybe this was. Maybe it just was like a habitual.
This was the first strike. These teams have only been teams for like 6.5 hours.
Well, so there you go, right there. I mean, I don't know if that's just.
I can't believe that this power tripping doesn't work in the USFL after he got these coaches fired from their last 8 jobs before this.
That's just unbelievable to me. I mean, and if anything, it's just highlighting like, okay, well, you think you're gonna be funny and clever with this kind of shit. And somebody's gonna look into this, all right? You might not. They might end up, firing your ass and bringing him back. I don't know. This just seems like it's just ridiculous to me that this is actually a thing. Like if I ever got like cut or in trouble for ordering something I chose to eat, then so be it. I'm taking the walk and I'm taking my food with me. You kiss my ass.
I hope this gentleman doesn't get too broke up about this because, I mean, last year this league and all the coaches didn't even get paid and it was a whole scam, and I'm sure it'll happen again.
There you go.
Yeah, this is like it's like an alternative football league, right? So it
Mhm.
used to operate back in the '80s or whatever, and now they're trying to bring it back, I guess.
If you really still believe in Johnny Manziel and want to see him work out, or whoever they got, I'm not sure. I might be confusing all these leagues.
Yeah, this is just it's sad, right? Like, why can't the dude have a pizza? I mean, this isn't the NFL. This is the USFL. Nobody's even heard of this shit yet. And the only
Donald
people
Trump
who
used to own
have
a team.
oh well, there you go.
There you go.
That says all you need to know about it.
There you
I
go.
mean, yeah, we reported on like I remember we reported on like that Twitch slash
Fan controlled
arena
football.
yeah, that fan controlled football, whatever, back in the day. And like I feel like this USFL is pretty much on the same level, right? It's pretty much right about the on that same level. So it's not like it's not like you have contracts that are worth millions of dollars. It's not like you are, maybe putting your trip to the Super Bowl in jeopardy or something. Like it's just a pizza. Let the dude have a pizza. Nobody wants to eat the chicken salad. I don't want a chicken salad. Get that out of here.
Yeah, I mean, chicken salad is good. And sorry if I
For
sound a
real,
little
for real,
different.
for real though. I will eat a chicken salad.
Imagine
Chicken salad
Marshawn
is
Lynch
good,
getting
but-
cut by Pete Carroll for eating Skittles on the sideline.
Yeah, that's a good equivalency. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just not great. And again, I know these coaches hold these players accountable to a very high level in a lot of ways. I'm sure with dieting and whatnot. And I would hate to say like this is only the USFL, like it's just not even blah blah blah. I mean, obviously, if you're being paid to play, they're going to have a pretty strict say on what you can and can't do. But I think one slice of pizza versus, I mean, dude, I'm already fucking jacked. I mean, look at me, I'm ripped. You know what I'm saying? A piece of pizza ain't gonna kill me. Okay, it ain't like I'm out here drinking and binging every week. It's a slice. And so because of that, to get cut, I think that just kind of says a lot about the integrity of the league itself and how, basically disposable these players are. They're like, hey, if you won't do it, we'll just go get another jacked guy who can catch or throw, whatever we're asking of you, per position to just do this then. Which is just unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a, more respect from coaches, whatever to players there.
If you
What
care
kind
this
of-
much about your players' diet, why on earth is the team not serving them chef-prepared meals that are a part of their restrictions and diet plan? Like, come on.
Good point.
Good
Instead, we play DoorDash police so that we can power trip.
point. What kind of pizza do you think it was?
No one just
Think it
people
was-
there. I would imagine it's probably like pepperoni or some shit, man.
I'm saying, you think it was like Papa John's?
Knowing what these
Papa
players
John's.
get played, it was the absolute cheapest pizza they could find.
It's probably some Little Caesars. You know what? I could forgive being
Fired
cut.
over some Little Caesars.
If you ordered Little Caesars as your pizza, I could understand being cut for that. That I'm
You
on
would
the same
would
page.
you as Coach EE you would cut someone for
Yeah, 'cause
ordering Little
your
Caesars?
taste is trash, which means your gameplay will follow.
There you go.
Get out
Good
of here.
point. Out of here, man. You're going back home. You're working at Walmart, man. I'll see you.
And none.
Yeah, I agree. It's just unfortunate to see. However, though, on the topic of pizza, though, we got to talk about one of my other girlfriends. She's actually she's a rapper, singer. She does a lot of great stuff. She's on TikTok. Even did a song about mooing once or twice. I don't know if you've had a chance to hear those, but her name's Doja Cat. And she just announced, I believe, that the Mexican pizza Taco Bell's coming back. Can we talk about it? How do you guys feel about my girlfriend's work?
Well, first off, congratulations on your new relationship.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, me and Dua Lipa, we weren't really working out.
Okay.
She's just on tour, and I'm a really busy guy too to commentate, and so it's just schedules ain't aligning. She's not getting it. But Doja Cat, though, her and I just met this last weekend. So, what do you guys think?
I think you need to put the shrooms down. But other than that, I think this is a I don't know. I mean, Taco Bell pizza. I don't think I've ever had this before.
You never had a Mexican pizza
I
before?
never had a Mexican pizza before. Like I'm all about the nacho fries; those are amazing. But I never had the pizza. So
Okay,
I have to actually give that
so
a try.
Imagine like it's not even really like the quesadilla. It's just two flat, crispy shell tacos, but they're just
It's just the
they're
taco
rounded
isn't
out.
folded.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same as a taco. It's just not folded. It's just flat now.
So pardon me for being an old, but I'm not 100% sure who this is and why she has the power to dictate terms to Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, you should know who she is. She's my girlfriend, so I just introduced you. It's Doja. She does a lot of great music, rapper, singer. Again, you know what I'm saying? I think she's doing Coachella this weekend. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep up with her schedule, but
I
she's been
thought you
working
had
with.
a Nutrus this weekend. That
You had
was
a
not
what
with
this,
Miss Cat.
I had a what this weekend?
Heard you were making moves this weekend. Was that not with Miss Cat?
This was
Miss
with
Cat?
her.
Oh, that was Miss
Yeah.
Cat we were talking about. All right. Congrats, man.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go pick her up this weekend. But yeah, she's doing Coachella, and you know, she announced this pizza deal with Taco Bell. It's back, and she's been doing a lot of work with them on TikTok. So I've never personally had it. I'm not much of a Taco Bell fan myself. I've expressed this to her. I would want them to bring back the beefy crunch burrito. I know you guys remember that. Now that shit there, that had your boy in a chokehold for a very, very long time, and then they just took it away from me. But the pizza's not bad though.
They're always bringing shit back I didn't even know was there or left in the first place. So, you know, all right, Mexican pizza.
The
Sure.
Mexican pizza has its fans. It has a vocal fan base, obviously enough to have a social media campaign to bring it back. Come successful. Like they brought everyone. They brought it back. The people brought it back. They wanted to see it. It's going to be available tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be like is it like a permanent addition, like to the menu? Like, are they bringing it back officially, or is it just going to be limited like everything else they've been running recently? Like they did like these wings or something like that, but they were only there for like a month and then they were gone. Like the nacho fries that they have right now, I think even those might be gone already as well. Like like you blink and you miss these promotions that they run. So I imagine the Mexican pizza is going to be something like that as well.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
spending hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars to go on a trip to see a concert with one of your favorite artists and then have them stop part of the way while they're singing to deliver you a Taco Bell commercial.
You know, hey, you know, she's a very creative person. You know, maybe that's what's a sweet signed on for. Not exactly sure. I don't know. You know, she has a very different. I mean, Phil knows. You know what I'm saying? You know, she just has a very different sort of work schedule and just whatever. So maybe this was all a part of a grand scheme, master plan. I don't know. I've never had the pizza myself. I don't intend of actually having the pizza ever. 'Cause like I said, I'm not the biggest Taco Bell fan, but I do think though that we were definitely living in the era of nostalgia. We're seeing it in films and TV shows like with Spider-Man and you know what I'm saying, Pokemon and all these other types of media where they're grabbing old things and then repackaging them a little differently so the young people are introduced to it properly and that older people like us are like, hey, we're just here for the pizza, not so much for Doja Cat. So yeah, hopefully they get the memo when they bring some of the other items back. Because I'm a big fan of the beefy crunch burrito. Do you guys want to see anything else come back from Taco Bell?
The Mexi Melt.
Mexi Melt?
It's just a soft taco that they put in the microwave, and I don't know why they can't do that anymore.
It's hard, man. I mean, it's hard to press a button. What about you, Phil? You anything? I know you kind of don't even really eat Taco Bell anymore, but if you could bring something back, would you?
Just leave the nacho fries and I'm good. That's all I want. Nacho fries.
Just
Those
make
are
them
delicious.
permanent.
Yeah,
I
delicious.
agree with you. Yeah, nacho fries are really good. Like it's just fries and cheese, but
Yeah.
damn it, it's a great combination, and they knew it would be. And yeah, I don't understand why that can't be a permanent thing. It's not like potatoes are expensive.
I don't get it either. Taco Bell is just a different company, man. They're really more so right now, at least when it comes to like how they move into like the cultural boom aspect of like, hey, look at this thing, this new experience that we're creating. And it's like, yeah, the experience is cool, but is the food of quality, man? Like at least McDonald's doesn't try to hide it. It's like, hey, this, McRib is the same one that we probably had on the floor from the last time we did the
Oh
McRib.
yeah.
But they also created this exact experience as recently as August of 2021.
Yeah, true.
So Krabs, we're living in pandemic times, right? So anything, if it's been
Mhm.
gone since mid 2021, all of the Zoomers are like, that feels like 5 years ago to them. So
Yeah.
it is sort of a resurrection, but I agree with you. Something that you took off the menu less than a year ago, you can't really be hyping up a comeback for it, right?
Right.
No,
Well, I hope
absolutely.
Miss Cat was able to cash that fat check and that she spends the money on something she loves,
Like Rod.
like Rod, preferably a vacation with Rod.
This trip to Genesis didn't pay for
Hashtag
itself.
take Rod to Fiji, anywhere around the world.
That's the real Rod Fest 2K.
That's Rod Fest. It's on a private jet all around. Good luck tracking that shit.
Yeah, come and get me if you want. All right, I'm not hiding. There you go, man. Yeah, it's the resurrection. We're bringing everything back, man. Jesus Christ came back, and then of course we brought back the.
This might be more important than when they brought Jesus back. Sorry.
It might be. I don't know.
Thank you, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is definitely a religious experience. We went to the Cantina one in New York for Let's Make Big Moves, and it was an experience. The food wasn't whatever, but it was like, oh, okay, this is a thing. You guys finally built your own little like theme park in here. This is nice, and it'll be something else in a year. Like this ain't gonna last, but it was nice to say you went.
Hell yeah.
Last but certainly not least here on the Sauce Talk agenda, a kebab enthusiast in Turkey celebrate the 61st anniversary of the first human space flight by attempting to send a kebab attached to a balloon in outer space.
Now, this is what I call taking flavor to new heights.
Thank you, Krabs. What are your guys' take on this? I mean, I like kebabs. I think they're super duper awesome. But to send one to outer space, I mean, I didn't know that this was like the ultimate way to celebrate, you know what I'm saying, a kebab and space travel.
Well, first I have to ask, would the kebab be where it is today without the Avengers?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Good
the kebab,
point.
what does that have to do with the Avengers?
That's what they got to eat after they saved the world.
No, they ate shawarma.
Well, shawarma.
I think it was shawarma.
Yeah, shawarma. It's the same thing. I mean, shawarma meat, kebab meat. Either
Wait,
way.
Did this kebab, after this balloon pops, come back and like kill some kid accidentally? Like, did someone just catch a kebab at 600 miles an hour right to the dome?
At terminal velocity?
Oh, it says it landed in the Turkish Sea, so some fish caught it.
I would definitely be interested in hearing about someone being killed by a terminal velocity kebab. Yeah, I don't know.
That's got to be one of the better ways to go out.
I don't know if sending stuff to space is like the ultimate, tribute, right? Like, is that like the ultimate tribute?
As opposed to the toilet where we normally send it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, the kebab, the kebab definitely has that sort of effect on me. This is definitely strange, but I mean, this is also, we live on the same planet where there's just food festivals of all sorts, strange ones. So, I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised at the same time. I think the kebab is definitely great. However, if I was to think of to send anything to space, it would be, to let the aliens out there know how great we have it down here and all the cool food we're eating. I'm gonna be real. I don't know if I'd send a kebab. I think I'd send pizza, fried chicken of some sort. Let them know, hey, we got seasoning down here on Earth. Not saying you don't season kebabs, but I think
it's very
easy to sell chicken.
Yeah, that thing there's literally seasoning all over it in said video we're showing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying I think it'd be a much easier sell for me to send some chicken to outer space for our green brethren out there on Mars as opposed to sending a kebab. But that's just me.
Well, yeah, I do like the idea of each different place on Earth doing their specialties to offer up to whoever these people in space that may or may not be eating the kebabs in lower orbit.
Well, from the hood, we're definitely sending some fried chicken. All right.
I'm not sending anything, bro. I'm not
like
sending
that.
anything.
It's like that, Phil. You're not gonna send nothing.
Life's a zero-sum game when it comes to Phil. If somebody sends that kebab up here, that's the one that he doesn't get to enjoy down here.
Yeah, you want something, come down and get it. My favorite movie is called Down, man. See ya.
If you guys had it your way, what would you send if you could send? Oh, where'd Bryan go? We just lost Bryan.
He'll be back.
I think Bryan said I'm heading to outer space. Bryan said I'm the mill. I'm going.
Out.
If you could send anything, though, if you had it your way, what would you send, Bryan?
I don't know. Like, if it had to be for aliens to experience, to know how good we have it down, do we really have it that good? I feel like if they're able to travel to other planets and everything, they got it better than we got it. But yeah, if I had to send something up there for them, geez, like there's just so many options. What really encompasses something delicious? I guess just good potato chip, good bag of chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because to me, that just is the perfect snack.
Get a trash bag full of Popeye spicy chicken sandwiches and put it in a trebuchet and aim that bitch at the moon.
There you go.
I don't know. I'll give you a burger and fries. That's it.
Burger and fries? I mean, are we talking like TGI Fridays, burgers and fries? Are we talking like Shake Shack? I mean, what are we talking about?
Just a well-made, classy example of the classic burger and fries meal.
Give you something from Wendy's. That's a good example.
Wendy's, man, Phil.
In
we
honor
want
of
these
Dave
aliens to
Thomas.
come- Phil, we want these aliens to come, come kick it with us. You want them to come kick it. Send us some Shake Shack. We had Shake Shack like 8 times this weekend.
All right, but I feel like Shake Shack is something that is so fresh. It doesn't keep as well as Wendy's, which you can just send on up. You want that Shake Shack fresh out the kitchen. I feel like I'd be doing a disservice sending them a cold burger.
But once
from
it gets
Shake
like
Shack.
8,000 feet in the air, won't it be cold enough that it would not go bad?
I just
Maybe.
think
This is why a bag of chips is perfect.
All right, fair enough. If
This
I had
has
it
to
my
be.
way,
I guess it has to be.
The alien
it
is
has
going to
be
open up your frozen ass
pressurized,
bag of chips, and they're going to be like, "What is this?" And they're going to come and kill us.
they're like, they're not advancing as a civilization. We need to come eliminate this shit now and start fresh. Fresher than this shit they sent up here. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Maybe-
I'm still. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say maybe some wings. I see Master Wings in chat, and I mean I love wings. Wings is one of my favorite foods of all time.
Send them
of course.
some ribs, wings. You're right.
Yeah, wings and ribs. Let them know that we've mastered the ability to slaughter animals and live off of them for sustenance.
We could put a bunch of balloons underneath an entire Denny's and just try to float the whole thing up there and see what happens.
We can actually float Denny's towards the sun.
That's right. Send that Grand Slam to space.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Denny's. I'll tell you what I am a fan of, though, right here. And it's talking about Shacknews and Cortex and Shack Pets. Now, I got the link right here. Sorry, it's on my shitty phone here, so I'm kind of at the mercy of my cracked phone screen here. So give me a second here. And it shows that 8 Mikey won Shacknews for the week, April 10th, 2022. Are we surprised, friends? Are we really surprised? Can we
Play it
maybe
again,
talk-
Sam? Play it again, Samuel Chandler. Also, thank you, Sam, for subscribing again. 19 months doing it for Shacknews.
He's a hero.
Appreciate it.
Definitely a hero. When am I going to get an emote, by the way? I didn't mean to I don't want to divert. Can I get an emote? I mean,
You should get an emote.
We'll work on it.
Okay, cool. I got a lot of pictures that we can use. Phil has a bunch of emotes already. I would just like one somewhere. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
send over some glamour shots. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of those.
The story is 8 Mikey winning again. Mad Dog winning the chatty. It's kind of the
Mad
same
Dog.
thing. Kind of the same thing. But We Can Geek in chat, Blake Morse, number 2, right there. Not quite as close as it was last week, though. Blake, you only lost by like
300 and something thousand points.
It was really close. It was
a
couple of 10,000 maybe, less than 20,000 points, I think. But it was super close. This week though, not close at all. 8 Mikey just dominated, dude.
Yeah, he did. I mean, but also in Blake's defense, he had to run like however many shows he automatically runs, and then the retail therapy as well. So hey Mikey, congratulations, but you only won because my man Blake, had to actually do Shacknews stuff. But I'm definitely gonna get my name on here one day too, man. I just gotta actually figure out a way to like finagle the meta so I can actually get on here because I'm trying to win, even if I have to win unfairly. I'm trying to get my name on here, okay? I mean,
a win is a win.
A dub is a dub.
Just take your smartphone to PetSmart and tell them you asked to try on one of each of the pets they got available, and then just take your pics with them where you're there, and you don't have to have the financial investment. Just steal Pet Valor. That's no one's gonna call you out.
Go outside, take a picture of a pigeon, put it up on Shack Pets. Get started.
I mean, well, I would if I was still living in New Jersey. I don't have any pigeons in Nebraska. We have crows and vultures.
Oh, you ain't got the
There are no
Nebraska.
pigeons in there.
Okay, I got.
Yeah, we got the Nebraska terrain. A lot of school. We got the zoo. So I can go. Like I said last week, and put some penguins on camera. I mean, I think that'll apply some real pressure right there, if I may say so myself. No, all jokes aside, though, man, big shout out. We got to get these guys actually on the show maybe one of these days for like an interview. I've been thinking about it, but I don't even know if these guys like
Mad Dog
do the whole. You think Mad Dog would do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Is he like a shit talker? Can he
I don't
talk
know.
some shit?
He wouldn't do video. He would do audio. I've done an interview with Mad Dog before for a feature.
Have you really?
I did for a while ago, a Shacknews community feature. And yeah, Mad Dog's a great guy. I think we could do that. It could possibly be set up. I'll put the feelers out there if you want me to get that started.
Yeah, let's definitely set that up because I've been seeing a lot of like just reoccurring names. Of course, Blake obviously can hop in anytime. We've seen him and Asif do that. But Patty Ann, Surfer Sam, is that also Surfer Boy?
Yes, Surfer Sam is that's our own Samuel Chandler.
Yes, yes. Okay, very dope. And then POL Wing Hussar.
Yeah,
I see that they
That's
did
us.
really well.
Wing It Hussar is Morgan Shaver, our very own Morgan Shaver, newest
Gotcha.
editor for Shacknews.
Well, big shout out to Morgan. I seen she's been doing dope work. And we got.
Yeah,
How
they're
come they
great.
don't just jump in the show when we're talking shit? I mean, I feel like it'd be dope to just pick their brain on kind of like how they approach this, because like I mean these points are absolutely nutty. I mean second and third place. I mean, and you're only losing really because you have stuff to do at Shacknews and not because you don't have a bunch of time on your hands or whatever. So maybe we can hit the Slack or the Discord and maybe get that set up for next time. I don't know.
Is 8 Mikey the MK Leo of Shack Pets?
Pretty much.
Hmm. Well,
Although
what
8
do you mean
Mikey
by
never
that?
comes from losers bracket though.
I was gonna say yeah, because he's lost before though. But that's what makes him MKLeo, not the fact that he keeps winning, but the fact that he can get knocked off and then come back the next week and destroy you.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
a good
there's
point.
also that mental torture that MK Leo adds in there. That's that chef's kiss on the top. At least that's the way I would see it if I was in the winner's bracket and I was like, oh, he's in the losers bracket. Well, I guess I'm going to lose. That's what I would say like at 2 o'clock that afternoon if I was in a tournament.
Krabs, do you play in any tournaments, man? Have you ever competed in anything before? Just
No, I'm a loser.
hey, man. Hey.
I get to compete here on this show. This is the pinnacle.
You're not a loser, Krabs. Don't talk about yourself like that,
No.
man. That's not.
I'm getting the
not
rub.
right.
I'm getting the rub from you guys. The clout is coming my way.
Oh, that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
Ain't no clout to soak up for me.
I'm a clout vampire.
Oh, you're aiming them fangs at the wrong person. You gotta get your man Phil over here. That's clout master flex right there.
Nah, I just exist.
Yeah. No, if anybody's won Shacknews on here, I think Phil, you won a stimulus game or two, once or twice, didn't you?
Yeah, I won because I'm godlike.
Oh, is that what happened?
So
I'm a winner.
modest.
I
No
do what
real
winners
argument
do.
there.
I do what winners do, baby. And I'll do it.
Yeah, fortunately,
Again.
you played some games that nobody. What was it? It was like Tetris 99 or Puyo Puyo Tetris or something, wasn't it?
It was Tetris.
There's no time to talk about losing when all you do is win.
Or maybe it was Pac-Man. I don't remember.
Don't encourage this, Krabs. All I'm saying is this, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, right? When the higher ups get some fighting games I play on here, because I think I won a Street Fighter 2 thing once, maybe. But when they get some fighting games I'm actually play, like Tekken, for instance, you see they're avoiding Tekken because they already know
They
Rod
skirt.
is going to win Shacknews for the year if we run that.
When they do Fall Guys, I'll play again. I still believe.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of competitive gaming right
I
there.
still believe.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call Cuddlecore to come get me. No, I'll oh man. Yeah, anyway, though, all jokes aside, though, I think we're gonna call it there. This concludes another episode of Shacknews Wide World of Electronic Sports here. Wow, I mean, what an episode this was. It was such an awesome time to talk about Genesis. I know we usually try to break up the Smash content in certain sections, but I think a good chunk of this episode needed to be dedicated to the greatness that is Genesis number 8. Guys, you guys have any closing thoughts here before we wrap it up?
Not really. I mean, yeah, it was great to talk Genesis. Great to talk the rest of esports. Thank you again for taking the wheel on the show, and I think you did an amazing job. Yeah, awesome episode 128, and yeah, looking forward to next week.
That's right.
Yeah,
What about
sure.
you, Philly?
I had a good time. As per usual, incredibly exhausted from Genesis. I'm probably gonna go catch a nap, but no complaints from me. Overall, I thought great event, good show, and there you go.
No stream tonight?
Probably not, man.
Really?
Probably not.
That means I'm streaming tonight. Come check me out.
There you go.
That's where I'm about to get my 30 viewers. Come kick it. Can we talk about it? What about you, Krabs? Any closing thoughts?
I just want to thank you guys for having me here and letting me participate. Today has been the greatest day of my April. I found out I got invited to the cookout, so I'm fucking stoked.
There it is.
Ooh, damn, well, don't fumble the bag, okay? Just
I'll try not to.
Leave the raisins out of the potato salad, all right?
I'll just stay home if you need me to. I'm just happy to be thought of.
All right, man. We'll work on the electric slide. In the meantime, friends, keep it locked right here, man. The Shacknews, of course. Please go ahead and shoot us a follow. Subscribe if you can, too. I mean, I know we're in a pandemic and a recession and a whole bunch of other things that are working against us financially, but if you got a couple bucks to spare and you like cool emotes, of course, you can use them here, man. Spend some money with us as well. Subscribe to us, of course, on YouTube. We have 2 channels, Shacknews and Gamer Hub TVs. Shout out to Greg Burke. Mr. Burke is always putting in that Mr. Work. He's always editing cool videos. I always send him the sloppiest of interviews, and then he sends me back a masterpiece. One day, I'm gonna have to do him a favor on the editing end. Also, big shout out again, once again, to DVD Denny Von Doom for handling all the social media content. DVD, that's right. Go check him out on Twitter as well. He does awesome work. He streams as well, creates a lot of cool content. And honestly, I mean, our social media presence would not really be what it is today had it not been for him and all his efforts as well. And of course, it's big shout out to the Shacknews team. I'm in the Slack. They're getting pinged to write articles literally every day. And I'm just kind of in there twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, wow, these guys and gals really like this writing shit. And me personally, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm a fly on the wall when it comes to when it comes to the Slack and the Discord. But in the meantime, so keep it locked right here. Of course, we'll be back. If you want to see me, I'll be back here next Saturday for another episode of Retail Therapy. We moved it because Greg has something important to do. So myself, Greg, and Blake will all be together. Wide World of Electronic Sports will be occurring next week, next Monday. You won't want to miss it. 3:30 or 3 o'clock, PT, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So until then, I will see you all next time. Remember, if it ain't Shaq, then guess what? It's fucking whack.
It's whack.
Whack, baby.